My name is Emily, and I'll never forget the chilling events that unfolded in the house my family had just moved into. It was a quaint little place nestled in a quiet town, seemingly perfect for a fresh start. Little did we know, we were about to step into a nightmare. The house had 3 rooms, one for my parents and one for me, a teenage girl eager to settle into my new space. But as the days passed, strange things began to happen. It started innocently enough, with faint noises in the dead of night. At first, I dismissed them as the creaks and groans of an old house settling. But as the nights wore on, the noises grew louder, more insistent, and more sinister. One night, unable to ignore the disturbance any longer, I summoned the courage to tell my parents. Together we ventured into my room, the source of the eerie sounds. As we stood there, the noise reverberated through the walls, seemingly mocking our attempts to locate its origin. That's when my parents noticed a small crack in the corner of the closet, barely visible in the dim light. With trembling hands, we pushed aside my clothes and belongings, revealing a hidden passage concealed behind the closet wall. My heart pounded in my chest as we cautiously stepped through the secret entrance, our flashlights cutting through the darkness like feeble swords against an unseen foe. What we found on the other side chilled us to the bone. The air grew thick with the scent of decay, and the walls were lined with grotesque symbols etched in blood. A sense of dread washed over us as we realized the true nature of our discovery: a horror room, a chamber of nightmares hidden within the confines of our own home. But the horror didn't end there. As we explored further, we stumbled upon a ghastly sight: the remains of those who had dared to uncover the secrets of the house before us, their lifeless eyes staring into the abyss, their silent screams echoing in the darkness. Terrified and desperate to escape the clutches of this malevolent force, we fled the house, vowing never to return. But even now, as I try to move on with my life, I can't shake the feeling that the horror room still lurks in the shadows, waiting for its next unsuspecting victims to uncover its sinister secrets. Months passed, and though we had moved to a new town, the memories of that night haunted me relentlessly. I found it difficult to sleep, plagued by nightmares of the horror room and the dark secrets it held. My parents, too, seemed to carry the weight of our shared trauma, their once cheerful demeanor now tinged with an unspoken fear. Despite our best efforts to move on, the horror room remained a specter in our lives, a constant reminder of the darkness that lurked just beneath the surface of our seemingly idyllic existence. I tried to convince myself that it was just a figment of my imagination, a trick of the mind born from fear and uncertainty. But deep down, I knew the truth: the horror room was real, and it would never let us forget. Then, one fateful night, as I lay awake in bed, tormented by visions of the horror room, I heard it again, the familiar sound of scratching coming from the walls. My heart raced as I listened, frozen in terror as the noise grew louder and more frantic, echoing through the empty corridors of our new home. With a sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach, I knew that the horror room had found us once more, its insidious presence seeping into every corner of our lives. And as I lay there, paralyzed by fear, I realized that our nightmare was far from over. It had only just begun.